Hello, and welcome to Art with Mrs. Torres. Today we're going to be focusing on an American pop artist named Jim Dine, best known for painting and sculpting beautiful heart paintings. Now, if you look at some of the different ones that he has done, you will see they're all different. Every style of painting and sculpting that he created, there's still a heart, but there's something unique and different about each one. So today we are going to be taking that idea and making our own creative style of Jim Dine heart painting. So join me, we're going to have fun. Let's get ready to create our Jim Dine inspired Valentine heart project. We are going to be using some watercolors, a piece of watercolor paper, a pencil, a paintbrush, some water, and a crayon. Now I'm going to be using blue because that's my favorite color. I want you to choose your favorite color crayon, and we will begin once you gather all these items up. So gather up your items and meet me back here, and we will begin. Well, let's begin our project. Now, Jim Dine painted many different style hearts. The one we are going to be working on today is called Imogen. That was the name of his painting. So I'm going to show you a way that I draw a heart that keeps my heart kind of more balanced on the paper. Does it ever happen when you draw a heart, sometimes it looks like a jelly bean? Sometimes that happens to me. So take your pencil, and we're going to draw a light line down the middle of our watercolor paper. Don't worry if your line is straight or crooked. It doesn't matter. We're going to be erasing it later. Now this line is going to help us draw our heart. What I'm going to do is make a big loop that comes up and around, and it's going to come back and touch the line when I'm done. Now you can make your heart as large as you want. The most important part that we need to remember today is that when you're starting to draw your loop to make your heart, it needs to go up first, around, and then back down again. Now watch as I do this. As I'm creating my heart, I'm going to go up, around, and then I'm coming back to this line like this. Now, in order to get that curve, and especially this point at the bottom, you have to remember to go up first. If you just go straight out and back, this is what I say, it looks kind of like a jelly bean. Do you see the difference between this side and this side? This is because I forgot to do what? I forgot to go up, around, and back. So I'm going to take my magic rub eraser and erase this, and I'm going to do it the right way. So now I'm going to take my magic rub, and if you don't have a magic rub eraser, these are wonderful erasers for you to have in your house for when you make a mistake in art or even in your homework. Okay, so let's get ready to draw my other side of my heart. Now, every time I draw it, it's never going to be perfect. It's not like both sides are going to line up perfectly, but it's going to help me. I'm going to start right here at the point, right here. I went down from the top. I'm going to remember to go up this time. So up, around, and then back toward the other point. Now, sometimes one side might be a little chubbier than the other. Sometimes one side might be a little bit more skinny than the other, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Once you've created your heart, and if you need to correct it, you can just pause the video. But once you're happy with it, we're going to erase our pencil line because we don't need this anymore. It's all only there to help us draw our heart. Well, I hope that little trick helped you draw a heart. That's what I use when I'm drawing my hearts. All right, now I'm going to erase my pencil line down the center. And now I'm going to take my crayon and I'm going to trace over my pencil line with my blue crayon. Now, I hope you are holding the crayon that is your favorite color. And you're tracing over your heart. And you can go over it several times to make it darker. Once you've traced around your heart, then we're going to take our crayon and we're going to put it off to the side. Now later, if you want to, you can add some other colors. So you could scribble scrabble some colors with other colors. in your picture, but I'm going to be working with mostly paint today because I want my picture to be very bright and colorful. So one thing I noticed about Jim Dine's artwork is that when he paints his painting, he lets the colors drip down the canvas. So that's going to be kind of fun for us to let our paints drip down our watercolor paper today. Now we're going to start with our water bowl, and our water bowl needs to be above the hand that holds your paintbrush. I am left-handed, so I will be holding my brush in this hand. If you are right-handed, you should place your water bowl up here. Your paints can go right at the top of your artwork. And the first thing we're going to do is make sure that all of our paint sets are wet. So I'm going to start, here's my napkin too. I forgot to tell you to put your napkin down. I'm going to start with a clean brush, and I'm going to put a couple drops of water in my paint. So I'm going to put some water in my yellow. And you notice I'm not even putting my brush inside the paint. I'm just kind of setting it over the top and just tapping it on the side. We're going to put some water in our orange. I'm going to put some water in my red. And you can put about 5 or 6 drops in each color that you want to use today. Well, I noticed that my watercolor set does not have pink in it, but I will show you a way that we can make pink using our red color a little bit later. The first color I want to work with is the lightest color in my paint set because I don't want my water to get real dirty by starting with a dark color. So I'm going to be starting with yellow. So first thing I want to do is decide where I want to paint on my picture. I'm going to be painting right here. So I'm going to put a big scoop of water, and I'm going to be painting some water first on my heart. This is where I'm going to be painting yellow because he has yellow in the bottom of his heart. Now, if you want to place it somewhere else, you can do that. Now, watch how my water helps my paint to just spread out. You can see it moving along the paper. Now I might want to add some yellow somewhere else on my picture. It looks like there's a beautiful yellowy green color over here on the painting. So I think I'm going to rinse my brush out. I'm going to put some water up here at the top of my paper. And down the sides. And then I'm going to get a little bit more of this watery yellow. Do you notice I'm not sticking my brush hard into the paint set? I'm just kind of painting with the water that floats on top. And I use my finger to hold my paper down if it starts to curl up. Pretty soon your paper is going to start to curl up, and that's okay. I'm going to let that yellow sit there for a while, and I'm going to trade out a new color. Now, so I'm going to rinse out my brush. My next color in my paint set next to yellow is orange. So I'm going to take my orange, and that's just a combination of a little bit of red and a little bit of yellow. So if you don't have orange in your paint set, you can make orange by dipping your brush in red and then rinsing out your brush and then dipping it in yellow and mixing the two colors together. So I'm going to be using some orange alongside of my yellow. So I'm going to see what that looks like. Oh, I kind of really like that. That's making kind of a yellowy orange color. That's really pretty. Now I'm going to also be placing orange in 2 other locations on my painting. So I'm going to add some more water first. Remember, the water is what helps it travel. I'm going to put some water down here. And I see some orange at the top of his heart in his painting. So I'm going to put some water here. And then I'm going to scoop up some of that beautiful orange and place it in my heart. Now I want to work kind of quick with my orange and my yellow and all my paints, and so that later I can tip my picture over and let all my colors drip down. Now another place that he has orange is up here at the top of the paper. So I'm going to put a big scoop of water up here. And then I'm going to grab some more orange. And I'm going to let my orange kind of dance on my paper. Whenever you are ready to move on to the next color, we're going to rinse out our brush again. I'm going to be moving over to my red. Now, if your paint set came with pink, you can add pink at this time. I don't have pink, but I like the color pink, so I'm going to figure out a way to make my red a little bit lighter. So I'm going to start with some water. Wow, do you see what's happening? I put a little water on my heart, and now my orange is spreading over there. That's okay. I'm going to take a little bit of red, and I'm going to pop that color in right here. So you can see that that's red. That definitely is a beautiful red, right? But if I want my color to look pink, what I can do is add a little bit of water and take just a tiny bit of the red. And when I use less red and more water, you'll see that the color doesn't look quite so dark. It almost looks pink. You see that? Look at the difference between this color up here and that color. Now you can add that color in another part of your painting if you'd like to. There's really no wrong way to do this painting today. I'm just spreading out some water first. That helps my colors to mix together. I call it dance. They dance on the paper. It's like a beautiful explosion. Do you notice my colors aren't mixing yet? Now watch what happens when I rinse my brush and I just put a little bit of water right there. There they go. Whenever you are finished using your red, we can move on to another color. So another color I want to work with today is blue. I love blue, so I'm going to add some water in a few different spots on my paper. Blue happens to be my favorite color. I think I told you that earlier. That was the crayon color I chose. I'm going to dip my brush into the blue water. And I'm going to let blue dance across my paper. When we're all finished with this project today, I would really like there to be no white paper showing anywhere. Now, if you happen to put your blue next to your orange, you're going to get a different color. It's going to kind of look brown. If you put your blue near the yellow, and if your yellow is wet, you're going to get another color. Watch what happens. If I put my blue next to some wet yellow, when those two colors mix together, what color did we just get? Can you see that? I just made my own green. Now that might not be the same kind of green that's in your paint set, but it is a green. It's a lemon lime green. Now, I love the color green. I will definitely be using some green in my painting too. Do you notice when I paint it on the dry paper, it doesn't have the same effect as when I put water down. So I like the effect of using water first, but if you like it to look a little bit darker, you can paint your paint right on the dry paper. I like that soft kind of drippy effect. Speaking of drips, we're going to get ready in a few minutes. Once everything is covered with paint, we're going to be dripping our colors across our paper. We're going to be actually doing something very fun. Now I still have a spot up here. I haven't decided what colors I want to put in there yet. I also have purple in my paint set. Do you have purple in your paint set? If you don't have purple, you can mix a little blue and pink together if you have pink, and you can make your own purple. Now this side of my paper is dry, so I'm just going to give it another drink of water. And by the way, is your water getting kind of dirty? Mine is too. It still will work fine. So I'm going to put a little water over here just to re-wet my paper. And then I'm going to drop a few bits of purple in there because I like purple. When you're all finished and you think you have as many colors as you would like on your picture, we're going to take our paintings and we're going to stand them up and we're going to let our colors drip down our painting. So I'm not quite ready yet. I still want to add a little bit more blue because remember, that's my favorite color to my picture. My second favorite color is purple. So I'm going to rinse out my brush and I'm going to now put some more purple on my painting. Here's something that's kind of interesting. Did you notice if you paint over your crayon line, it still shows up? Do you see how my blue crayon is popping right through that dark purple paint? That's because my crayon is stronger than the paint and it resists the paint. Now, when you're all finished, just for kicks and giggles, I think it would be fun to make some splatters on our painting. Let me show you how I like to make splatters. So I want you to pick your favorite color, and then I want you to dip your brush in it. Now, when you're dipping your brush in it, make sure it's got some water in there. Then you're going to take your pencil that we used earlier, and you're going to tap your painting. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm dipping my brush, your paintbrush, not your painting. So dipping my brush in the blue paint, and I'm making some sprinkles and spatters. Now, if you want to change colors, you can rinse your brush out and dip it in a different color. Sometimes I tap the paintbrush onto the napkin first so I don't have too much color sprinkling all over. All right, time for the big reveal. We're going to be taking our painting and picking it up on the sides. Now, before you do that, did you cover every corner of your painting? There should be no white paper anywhere. We're going to get ready to dip our fingers onto our painting and tilt it up and watch our painting drip, 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 drip down. All those colors are going to blend together. Look at that beautiful painting. We are going to end up with a painting just as pretty as Jim Dine's. When you're all finished, if you still want to splatter some more, don't forget to rinse your brush out. You can now go in and pick another color. Now, I cleaned my brush out. I'm going to try some red now. I'm going to add a few sprinkles of red on my painting. So did you have fun today painting a painting inspired by Jim Dine? Did you know that Jim Dine is still alive? He is about 86 years old and he is still painting. Now, this painting we did today was inspired by his painting called Imogen, but I bet you could create your own painting inspired by the colors that you see around you. I hope you had fun today, and I look forward to teaching you another art lesson. Have a great day.